everyone, and welcome to the 31st episode in our AI and You podcast series. Today is Monday, January 4th, 2021, and I'm your host, Vikar Saeed. Happy New Year! I'm a computer scientist and engineer, a lecturer, and a consultant. I'm also the author of several books. My most recent book is about artificial intelligence and is titled The Genome Affair. The Genome Affair is a speculative work. It examines what the world might be like if some of the more extraordinary capabilities forecast to be realized in AI over the next 20 to 30 years were actually realized today. Given the growing list of frightening existential threats humankind now faces, the book pays particular attention to the impact AI is expected to have on world affairs. The book is available in ebook format for those who prefer to read on a digital device, but it's also available in a high-quality paperback edition. The Genome Affair is available on Amazon, so I hope you'll take the time to read it and to leave a review. Amazon book reviews are very helpful for writers. I'm very interested in how science and technology influence world affairs and the big questions facing humankind. Studying at the confluence of the great disciplines of human history, political science and thought, international affairs, science and technology, offers a deep understanding and pedagogically important lessons of how advances in human endeavor have influenced and impacted civilization. I'm available to give talks on artificial intelligence and its related technologies, and on the impact AI is expected to have or is already having on our world. If you'd like to get in touch with me to arrange a web-based event or consulting meeting with your company or organization, you can find my contact info in the podcast notes below. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it with others if you find the content valuable. Thank you. And now, on to today's podcast. In our last podcast, episode 30, I spoke about how AI-enabled social media has shown itself to be the most destructive application of artificial intelligence we've seen in the last decade. In today's podcast, episode 31, I'll talk about democratizing AI in 2021. At present, the leaders in the development of AI tend to be very large, wealthy companies or states. It's very difficult for most academic institutions or small firms to compete. I'll also talk about the Mayflower Autonomous Ship, or MASS. It's going to reimagine the original Atlantic crossing of the Mayflower from England to America back in 1620. Let's get started. Arguably, the most impactful achievements in artificial intelligence in 2020 came from Google and Microsoft. DeepMind, a general AI company in London that's wholly owned by Google, succeeded in solving a particularly evasive problem in structural biology, the problem of protein folding. Scientists have been baffled for decades as they struggled to predict the three-dimensional shape an amino acid might take. OpenAI, partially owned by Microsoft, also had an extraordinary achievement with their release of GPT-3, a natural language processing AI that can replicate human writing with uncanny accuracy. Both DeepMind and OpenAI had the resources of their tech giant parents available to them. GPT-3, The OpenAI language processing AI agent required 45 terabytes of text scraped from the internet and 1.75 billion parameters to enable its capability. The attribute that both of these companies share is that their AI agents are trained using a machine learning technique known as deep learning, a methodology which requires extraordinarily large amounts of data and computational power. These are resources not normally available at most academic institutions or small firms, and as such, landscape-altering breakthroughs and leading-edge work in AI are relegated to the labs belonging to only the wealthiest organizations or states. In response to this problem, new techniques in machine learning are being developed that will require far less data than that required by deep learning. One such technique being developed at the University of Waterloo is known as less than one-shot learning. The underlying philosophy of this machine learning technique is the notion that it should be possible for the machine to learn about new objects through abstraction. In other words, without actually having to see every single object. In comparison, in deep learning, we may be required to present the AI agent under training with hundreds of thousands of images of a cat if we want the AI to be able to accurately recognize a cat when it encounters one. Enabling accurate machine learning through this innovative, less than one-shot learning is important for the democratization of AI. The expansion of the ability to contribute in AI. But it's also important because it more closely resembles the learning mechanism of the human mind, and because it can mitigate the bias inherent in large datasets that can lead to undesirable outcomes in AI-enabled systems. Moving on now, one of the unfortunate casualties of the pandemic that commenced early in 2020 was the planned commemoration of the sailing of the original Mayflower from Plymouth, England to Plymouth, Massachusetts in September of 1620. The Mayflower was a wooden ship carrying 102 passengers, and it took 66 days to sail across the Atlantic Ocean. 2020 marked the 400th anniversary of the original journey that brought pilgrims to America, and to commemorate the occasion, artificial intelligence researchers developed an AI agent that would navigate a new, modern version of the original Mayflower, the Mayflower Autonomous Ship, from England to America without a single crew member or even a captain. Mayflower Autonomous Ship, MASS, was designed by ProMare, a maritime research organization, and powered by an AI agent developed by IBM. MASS is 50 feet long and is currently in the middle of a 6-month trial. Researchers will set the Mayflower's destination, but once at sea, it sets and dynamically adjusts its own course based upon sea lane traffic considerations, ocean currents, and weather. ProMare and IBM spent 2 years training MASS's captain, an AI agent, and the journey is now expected to take place in March of 2021. This contemporary edition of the Mayflower will be equipped with GPS, cameras, sensors, radar, and LiDAR systems, and will be capable of processing a multitude of constantly varying conditions as it sails across the Atlantic. It is capable of making any and all necessary adjustments and recalibrations without human intervention. The solar and wind-powered Mayflower has also been trained to recognize and avoid other ships along the way. During its journey, MASS will study the ocean, plastic pollution, and the effect of warming waters on marine life. An unmanned marine craft such as the Mayflower, constructed from lightweight aluminum and composite materials, is expected to be a very cost-effective way to study the oceans, since, in the absence of any crew or captain, no safety systems, food, or living quarters will be required. Such human-led oceanography missions are currently very expensive. The Mayflower's journey will be an exciting moment in the rapidly growing field of artificial intelligence, particularly since researchers are providing a website where those interested in its progress will be able to get real-time updates once it sets sail. Thank you for spending some time with me. I'm trying to follow the TED Talk format, and so I'm keeping these podcasts under 20 minutes. Let me know what you think. I hope you'll find these insights into artificial intelligence helpful, and I hope you'll read my new book, The Genome Affair. It's on Amazon. Until next time then, this has been the AI and You podcast with author Vicar Said.